Sure. Kevin O'Toole, play for NYCFC, and I'm a left back. Sure. So, grew up in Montclair, New Jersey. Mom was a soccer player. Dad was an athlete. Mom played at William and Mary. That's where they met. My sister plays there now. So come from a soccer athletic background. Grew up playing in Montclair. Played for Montclair United under a coach named Kieran Patrick. Then moved on to actually playing for Red Bull Academy during my high school years. That was freshman, sophomore, junior year, on through college. Ended up playing at Princeton University, played there for 4 years. I took a gap year in between, so ended up graduating in 5 years, playing 4 years of soccer there. And then, was drafted to NYCFC for the 2022 season. Trialed as a right winger, made the team, and now I've been playing mostly as a left back, left wing back role. Yeah, so I guess to your point about Princeton, was recruited to that school. I mean, I was pretty close with their head coach, Jim Barlow. So it was a familiar place. I liked the system they played there. And for me, I think going to Princeton was about growing technically and physically. I think when I was playing in the academy, I was playing as a left back, but I wasn't really a focal point on that team. And so once I went to Princeton, I knew that I was going to take on a really big role, especially in the attack. So was just about how I could contribute in terms of goals and assists for the team. And that's something I figured out as the years went by. And obviously that took a lot of different kind of training, transitioning from a left back to a right winger at Princeton. Being kind of put in that attacking role just made me, think more like an attacker, get cleaner on the ball, use some skills, get in behind the defense and become a bit more athletic. And then also physically, I think I grew a lot. I think Ivy League soccer doesn't get enough credit for the caliber of player that can play in the league, and it's also a very physical league. So I think one of the things that I wasn't so good at going into the college game was using my body to shield the ball and how much of an asset that can be. And I think once you get beat up a few times against a Dartmouth or a Harvard, I think you start to realize that how important it is to kind of bulk up physically and use your body well while you're dribbling. And I think those are the two things that I grew the most in the college game. Yeah, so I wake up usually around 7:30. I'm in my car by 8:15 to head to the facility. I get there around 8:50, 9 o'clock, eat some breakfast. Then I go to the gym around 9:15, 9:20, and I'm in there and I'm rolling and stretching for 15, 20 minutes. And then I'll hop on the bike for 10 minutes, do some knee prehab stuff, and then usually have a meeting around 10 o'clock, either like a team meeting or a group meeting. Then after that, it's back in the gym. We do what's called like activation or pre-act, and that's sort of like a mini lift to get primed for training. So do a little bit of lifting for 15, 20 minutes, and then out on the field by 11 o'clock, we usually do some rondos before training, and then we get into the session plan for the day, whatever Nick has planned. And then after that, it's usually back in the gym for another lift, couple days of legs, and then 1 or 2 days of upper body. And then after that, ice bath, shower, into the meal room for lunch, and then back home by usually 3:30, somewhere in there. And I think you can you make the most of it in your time there. I mean, if you wanted to rush it, you could be home earlier, but I think it's about being professional and prepping your body for the weekend and making sure that you're healthy for all the training sessions. So there's a bit more that goes into it in terms of recovery after a training session that not everyone sees, but I think it's very important to be keeping up with that kind of stuff too. Coolest soccer moment would probably be Campeones Cup last year. It was a surprise start for me in that game, and it was I played an Open Cup game back in May, but that was, the Campeones Cup was my second game for the first team, so obviously put in a huge position to start that game in a one-game final. So I think, the atmosphere at that game and hearing the first whistle go off was a moment that I'll never forget. Good question. So last year, a hobby that I started to pick up was playing golf. Um, so on an off day, I'll definitely like to get out in the morning and play some golf. Maybe get a little bit of a workout in the early afternoon, or even before going out for golf. And then lately, like this season, I've actually started to pick up guitar. I'm taking guitar lessons right now, so I'm only about a month in, so don't ask me to play anything too challenging. But yeah, that's been a really fun hobby and a good pastime. Even after training days, just to come home and pick up the guitar, it's fun and something that I'm looking forward to having for years to come. And yeah, it's just it's a fun little hobby. So yeah, golf, guitar. I like to read. I just finished up the Harry Potter series like a month ago now, and I'm getting into the movies. Reading a pretty interesting kind of cryptic book, like sci-fi fantasy right now, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, I would say that's kind of the trio of things I like to do on off days. I can play Good Riddance by Green Day. I can play a Bad Bunny song that's like on his new album. It's like there's like a little guitar riff in the beginning. I can play Bye Bye Love by the Everly Brothers, kind of like an old song. And I'm learning 8 Days a Week right now by the Beatles. No Dragon Forest, no Through the Fire. Only on Guitar Hero, maybe. My Instagram handle is KToolSeason, KTOOLESZN, and it's the same for Twitter.